So the Outer Worlds is released, and I wanted to pit the Outer Worlds against Metro Exodus in some sense. But let me give a little bit of a, some I would say observations with this game. This game is an Epic Games exclusive in a sense. It's also on the Windows Live platform. You can play it on PC if you get the Xbox app. You can buy it there. You don't have to use Epic Games if you don't want to. But then, it's not on Steam currently. I don't know if it's ever coming to Steam. I don't know what's going on. But I'm not a Steam loyalist. I have no ties, no one's giving me anything from Steam, so it doesn't matter to me, honestly. I know you probably be like, so you're willing to put your data on, whatever. So this game has come out, and this game is pretty much made by the company that made Fallout New Vegas. I've never played the game, but I do have the Outer World. It just showed up on my subscription. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to play this game. So picking it up, turning the game on, and I actually do like it. I'm sitting there laughing at some of the dialogue choices, being interested in what these characters have to, kind of say about things. And I think they have made themselves a solid game. And what's ironic is if you look back, you'll see that Obsidian, the development team that made this game, has a history with Bethesda when they made the Fallout game for them and they missed some big, huge royalty bonus. They were going to get royalties from Fallout New Vegas, if they had a Metacritic score of 85 or above, and then they missed that score by 1 and they didn't get any royalties. I mean, they probably signed a contract to that effect, so the contract had to be binding. I think if they wanted to get any of those royalties, they probably could have said, let's can we renegotiate now that we're at a 70, and at an 84 Metacritic score, but they didn't do that and they didn't get any royalties, or probably that was not an option for them. But it's ironic that Bethesda ended up making Fallout 4, which a lot of people say was a good game. They say Fallout 3 was even much better. Those who play those kinds of games. And they released Fallout 76, which I made a video just telling people who were interested in the game flat out, do not buy this game. And I had one reason. Because the development team released the beta and there were broken issues, and they said something to the effect on their Reddit page that they were going to fix some of these issues at an unknown date. And I think something to that effect. You have to go watch that video because I actually read the Reddit post on that video. So all my evidence is there. I don't want anybody to come hold me liable to something that Bethesda didn't say. They did say that. They did type that out on their official Reddit page. But they mentioned something to the effect that they were going to make fixes in the near future. And that's what turned me off. Just that statement alone, I just said, I'm not buying this game. Because I'd heard so many people give Fallout 4 a lot of praise and a lot of, hype in my way. And I just said, well, let me try 76. But once I saw that and heard a lot of the issues in terms of the beta, I just said to myself, no, I am not dealing with this. And to see that this game is released as a full-fledged game, single-player game for a single price, and you buy the game, you play it, and you've beaten it, and you're done, you enjoy the experience model, makes me think that The Outer Worlds is a more important game in this 2019 than any other game. Sure, the game has its faults. I mean, right now, Metacritic, it has an 82. So it doesn't even have as high a Metacritic score as Fallout New Vegas or the other game that Obsidian made. But nonetheless, I think it stands as a symbolic IP that goes to show that a gaming development company that still has its heart and soul intact in game making is still interested in making a very good game and doing it the right way. And making sure that the consumers and making sure that gamers are getting exactly what it is that they've been wanting from a game. Now, the Metacritic score is an aggregate of all kinds of subjective parameters. People may not be happy. People may have had higher expectations and those expectations weren't met. But then they came into the game and they said, this isn't good. And they gave it a bad Metacritic score. Whatever. But largely, the response to this game is not like a hype train type of response. No one's building any hype. The game speaks for itself. And if you're on PC, I would encourage you to spend $4 and play the game. I mean, you can play the game for $4. $4. As a gamer, $4 to try out a game that's a single player game, not a live service game, a single player game. There's some kind of live service that's going in the Xbox One anyways, the Xbox Game Pass, whatever. But still, to give it a try, see what you think, put a few hours in, 4 or 5 hours, and be able to come out with your own judgment and see if you probably don't end up supporting the developers. Because I think that's probably what's going to be the outcome in my own end. Because if you look at what Bethesda has decided that they're going to do, I just think this game goes to show that we still have gems of game developers among us, because it's very good to get a breath of fresh air from a company that's wanting to just make a game without having to deal with a lot of the things that turn gamers off. And what I do wish is, I wish Metro Exodus had taken the right steps to please their fans and do the right thing. And I wish their publishers, whom they claim made the decision to go with the Epic exclusivity, were smart enough to understand that the short-term gain, even though they say Metro Exodus sold very well and all that, but they can never ever predict how well it would have still sold if it was kept on Steam, where it had received a huge number of pre-orders. They can never tell. They can never go ahead and say this is probably what it would have been, because sure, they may be paying a 30%, cut to Steam, which is Steam's policy. I mean, it's a take it or leave it. I mean, and if you sell to a specific number, I think the percentage actually reduces. They may be taking a lower cut, but in the long run, how many more copies could they have sold to probably match up with whatever it is they would have gotten from Epic based on the exclusivity? Now, you can also play Metro Exodus on PC and not on Epic too. You can play it on the Xbox Game Pass too. So that's another way. If you don't want to go the Epic Games way, you can go the Microsoft route, and this will give you access to the game and you can enjoy it. The game is actually a solid game. And, the business world is very, very rough, very tough, but it's not a rough and tough world for a company like Bethesda. I feel like they're just in a place where they're very comfortable. You could even hear the Bethesda guy at E3 just bragging on how he bought the most expensive Tesla and all that stuff in his little forum with Elon Musk. And I just thought to myself, well, they're full and satisfied. They're not hungry anymore. I doubt that they have much to offer to the gaming community. And I think you're going to be seeing it from Bethesda's next few releases. You're going to see a gaming company that has no need for your money because they've made a bunch of it. And all they're going to be doing is targeting whales, targeting sharks. And so it is more important these days that a company like Obsidian and even smaller development firms need to be supported much more, because the more we support these people and divert our time, attention, funds, and resources to them, the more likely that they'll be able to challenge these big companies who had a bigger opportunity and have established themselves, because it's all a matter of time. They were just born and supported by their community of gamers at the right time and took them to where they were, from when they were wearing, little long sleeve shirts to leather lambskin jackets now, and they don't have any loyalty of any kind. They just feel like they've made enough money. They've been able to do what they've been able to do well. And it doesn't seem like their fans or their supporters are important to them. So I think The Outer Worlds is a more important game in this generation than we would like to attribute to it, especially in 2019. There were other releases, I have to admit that. But the fact that there's been that relationship between The Outer Worlds and Bethesda in the past, and seeing the irony that they're able to write a video game that is currently very good and fulfilling the need of a single player game, I think this is something that we as gamers can rally around and support and look, carefully and say, this might not be a perfect game, but it's definitely a game worth talking about, promoting personally to friends, saying, hey, if there's a game that you're looking for, like a Fallout game, or a Fallout 76 burned you, then you can definitely play a game like this. And so that's pretty much what I have to share today. I really do appreciate your time and audience for watching this video, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Peace.